I snorted a pound of coke and then I beat up a cop.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah.
Hey guys, Mike here from We Watched a Movie, and today I'm reviewing how to make money selling drugs. Is that right? Yeah.
People want drugs, and it was hard not to give them it because I can make $50 just like that.
Illegal drugs are a $400 billion global industry, and business shows no signs of slowing down.
I wanted to make money to go live. The guys hanging on the street corner, they have girls, they have cars, they have money. I'm in.
This movie just came out, and it's a documentary. I think you can watch it on like Amazon Prime, on demand, stuff like that. One of the producers of the movie is Adrian Grenier, who, if you know, who's the main guy in Entourage, who did a lot of drugs. They smoke a lot of pot in Entourage. But the way they lay it out for you is like it's actually a legitimate step-by-step process to how you can make money selling drugs in 10 steps. All the way from the street corner all the way to being the leader of a drug cartel in these 10 steps. Now, that's not actually what the movie is, but it's kind of cool how they make it seem like it's that way.
I had skills. The skills to sit on a wall and make $8,000 a day.
We met it up in the Bering Sea, repackaged it all in wet-locked fish boxes, put it all on the truck, smooth as silk.
Pretty much every day I could do $1 million. There was days that I would go to $2 and $3 million.
This weird like Grand Theft Auto sort of feel. You're like, is this really happening right now? Are we legitimately talking about how to make this happen? It's actually an exploration into the war on drugs and why it's so messed up and how nobody talks about it. No, it's just kind of a foregone conclusions like drugs are bad, the people who fight drugs are good. But this movie really delves into that and picks apart who's right and who's wrong and all the little intricacies that go into that.
There's one more way to make money in the game. All you need is a drug war.
You got a gun, shoot!
The United States of America, the land of the free, leads the world in the incarceration of our people.
It almost seems like it's taking the side of drug users. It's very strange, and it honestly feels like you turn on a video game and the video game is like drug dealer or whatever, like I climb the ranks as a drug leader. That's why I relate it to like Grand Theft Auto or something like that. It feels so weird. Step one, being a pawn, being a guy on the street corner selling drugs, and then it's like next up you need to move up to being a dealer, to being this, to being this. It's like they're trying to recruit you to do this. Much like a regular documentary, they're just throwing facts and statistics at you left and right, but it never gets boring, and it looks really good. It's shot well, it's cut well, it's edited amazingly. They talk to everybody from 50 Cent to Eminem and his issues with drug use, to Susan Sarandon, to Woody Harrelson, who has some amazing points.
I just think people don't understand. They just hear tough on drugs and they go, yeah, but they don't understand what it means.
It's about freedom. We really got to grab hold of that. Either we have the right to do what we want to do as long as we aren't hurting someone else, or we're not living in a free country.
DA don't want the drug problem to stop. District attorneys don't want the drug problem to stop. Prisons don't want the drug problem to stop.
They talk to this lawyer who's just this, like the coolest lawyer ever. I mean, once you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. This guy is totally the guy I would pay to defend me in any court in America. Talks to all these huge names in the drug industry, and you don't necessarily take their side. They just gives them a chance to talk and say, like, this is how it happened, this is what I did, this is how I grew as a drug dealer, and this is where I am now. Crazy wild shit that comes out of these guys' lives, because you gotta imagine people like this, love it or hate it, these guys are gonna have pretty freaking interesting stories, and they do. It's like Locked Up Abroad. Like I said, the whole point of the movie is actually to put the war on drugs under a microscope and be like, hey, just because the government are the people against drugs, it doesn't automatically make them right in everything they're doing.
Are you unemployed or stuck in a dead-end job? Don't worry. This is your guidebook.
And they talk to some people who were wrongly put in jail over drugs, and you know, at some points it does seem like the documentary is completely one-sided, but they're not saying like drugs are awesome, go do drugs. There is an area of the movie where they talk about like how bad this epidemic is and like how messed up people get from it, but they really spend a lot of time talking about how screwed up the actual war on drugs itself is, and they bring up some really interesting points. I mean, think about it. The war on drugs is not this election we had recently. Nobody really talked about that very much. There's a whole lot of other issues at hand. It's just like everybody accepts it, and they're like, oh, drugs bad, people fight drugs good, and we'll just forget about how they do it because we want to get rid of drugs. But regardless of how morally you feel about drugs, it's a movie you should watch. I think it'll enlighten you a lot. Great job making this documentary. I'm actually going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed watching it. The question of the day is kind of weird. It's going to be, what is the craziest run-in you've ever had with the police? Like a lot of people have been pulled over for something stupid or whatever. It doesn't have to be like a crazy drugs, alcohol, nut story. Like, I snorted a pound of coke and then I beat up a cop. I'm not saying that. Just what's the weirdest run-in you've ever had with the police? The weirdest thing you've ever seen the police do or whatever. Comment below. Let me know. Tell me your story. I'm Mike from We Watched the Movie, and we'll see you guys next time.
We watched a movie.